Okay, we are copy and paste happy because copy and paste makes life easier. So we're going to copy and paste the senior project. I'm going to come through and select all of my slides from this sample presentation. Okay, I'm going to copy them. I'm going to come over and make to my drive. I'm going to make a new Google slide. And I'm going to paste. Okay, I'm going to match the styles just because I don't like to deal with the problems with the font. Oh, didn't do it for me, did it? Oh, okay, well, let's pick a style that we like. I must have pressed the wrong button. Lord knows I always do. Okay, let's try that one. Ooh, pretty. Okay. Maybe some, I don't know, maybe that one. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, so I am going to have to play around with the font a little bit, make sure that it's on here correctly, so forth. And, you know, play with the colors so I can see them. But for the most part, I've got the slides in here. Okay, now it's not enough that I do this. I have to also come in, look, and see that I have my senior project guidelines in here as well. All right, so I need to know that I have personal introduction, I have a job introduction, I have pros and cons, duty, salary. I have to have all of these. And if I don't have these, I'm going to be, short on my project, okay? So I'm going to keep this slide open while I keep this open, so I know that I'm going to keep in and with the same ones, and I'm going to keep on track, okay? All right, I'm going to change the name of the project, and I'm going to change my name. Okay. And then I'm going to play around with it a little bit. This says in essence. Now, if I don't know what that means, I probably need to take that off my PowerPoint presentation. And a good rule of thumb would be that do not put anything on here that you don't know what it means. In essence means like everything that encompasses everything in this project. What does it mean to be this project? Okay, but maybe I don't know what that is, so I might just put inspiring quote. Okay, and this might be something that I want to pull from the internet and be like, oh, I really want to be like something like this. Oh, here we go, candle. That's nice. Okay. Oops, okay. So I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to paste in my inspiring quote. Ooh. Okay. Now remember that a quote is not something that you have to have on here, right? This is also kind of cloudy and so forth, so I probably want to clean this up and make it pretty for my presentation. But it's not necessary that you have all of this stuff. What is it necessary you have? You have this stuff. Okay. Also, I need to make sure that in addition to having this stuff, that I also can speak for 10 full minutes. That means that the presentation itself will be 7 and the product would be about 3. So can I speak for 7 minutes on this presentation? If I can't, then maybe I add things like this, like the quote and pictures from my childhood and so forth, okay? So I'm going to come in here and change this information according to what I need because I love copy and paste. It makes my life so much easier. Now what about something like pros and cons, which I know for a fact is not in this presentation. So I'm going to come down and where it seems appropriate, like maybe, I don't know, before salary. I'm going to insert a new slide and I'm going to put pros and cons. And then I'll talk about my pros and cons. Or maybe I just want to put pros and talk about my pros and then put cons and talk about my cons. Okay. Remember that there's not a certain number of slides that I have to have for my presentation. There's not exactly a format or an order they need to be in. This is my presentation. It is my stuff. So I'm going to come put in the things that I feel like I can talk about. If I copied and pasted this, obviously this is not going to mean anything to me. Or if I don't have a job like teaching, I'm going to put teaching in here. But I can't think of another job that teaching is confused with, because everybody knows what a teacher is. And I don't need to talk about the difference between a teacher and some other job, like I would architect and interior design, because it's not applicable, okay? So I'm like, man, I'm done with that. But that's going to make my presentation shorter, so I'm going to need to think of more interesting things to put in here to make up for the fact that I took that out, all right? So thinking about that, what are you going to be graded on? Making sure that you can talk about these slides that you put in here and present this information to someone. Is it clean and neat and clear? This is a little bit hard on the eye because I took something from another format and it's got green in here, and so maybe I want to come through and make sure that it's clean, it's neat, it's clear to the eye. Make sure when you're putting your work in here, it's no less than 24-point font. That's small, especially from very far away. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll do an 18-point font for very, very different reasons. I have to fit something very carefully onto a slide. But look how small that is. Look how small that is, and you have to think how far away someone's going to need to see this PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to make sure that 24 is the smallest number that I use. A lot of times I can use a bigger number than that, unless it's not fitting on my slide correctly. And then I may need to change that. 28. That looks pretty darn good. Okay, so think about that. Also notice that you're using bullet points. You're not using complete sentences. I'm not going to take something from my paper and copy and paste it sentence for sentence into here, because it's going to be, I'm going to start reading off the slides. It's going to be very awkward. Okay, so making sure that you are putting very, very few, look here even, very, very few words on each slide. Lots of pictures, lots of things that are visual, because people like to see that. They don't want to be looking at a whole bunch of words on a slide. So very, very few. Very, very few. If I want to go pros and cons, I might just make a list. It's awesome, because it is. That's a sentence, but you know, whatever. Okay, flexible schedule. No, it's not really flexible. Let's see. What a teacher. It's just awesome. Get to hang with students. I'm doing this so wrong. No, stop that. Okay. Teaching. Okay, pros about teaching. It is, it's just wonderful. What can I say? All right, you get to boss people around. No, what is it? What are some pros? Some serious pros for teaching. Serious pros for teaching are that you are, you get to speak in front of a crowd. I actually like this. I'm the oddball that enjoys doing that. Impart learning on students. Talk about topics you are passionate about. Look at that. Okay. Assist, just help students develop. I mean, that's just amazing. I love it. What can I say? Everything's wonderful about pros. I would have no cons. What are the cons? Nothing. Sad that, you know where I am right now? I'm in my classroom. I should be at home, and I'm not. You know why? Because I miss teaching so much. There are no cons. None. No, I have to come up with some cons. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you have disrespectful students. I mean, honestly, that is, I don't know though, because people in Meta aren't very disrespectful. People in Meta are awesome. I don't have any cons. There's no cons to teaching. You have to come up with something for each one of these, even if it's hard. You know, make sure that you are being adequate and you are being accurate in your information. Okay. So that is a little bit about how to copy and paste and work through your senior project presentation. Do use nice clear fonts, nice clean, clear, sharp colors. Use large colors. or excuse me, large fonts and lots of pretty pictures to put in here, interesting things to look at, and make sure that you can speak for a full 7 minutes about this.